The Harvest.
Good afternoon, Africa. This is Imene Naouad, the continent and the world. Algerian President Abdelmajid Tebboune affirmed that the official visit of Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud reflects both countries' shared determination to strengthen bilateral cooperation and exchange views on issues of common interest. Let's hear it.
زيارة تجسد الإرادة المشتركة لتعزيز العلاقات وتعبر عن حرصنا على مد جسور التعاون وتبادل وجهات النظر حول القضايا التي تهم بلدينا الشقيقين. لقد تطرقنا في هذا اللقاء إلى فرص التعاون في مجالات الطاقة والزراعة والصيد البحري والصناعة الصيدلانية والتعليم العالي. وفي هذا المجال أسجل بأننا أنجزنا خطوة ستكرس إرادتنا المشتركة لاستغلال الفرص المتاحة لتكثيف وتوسيع التعاون، حيث ستستقبل الجزائر 110 طالب من صومال الشقيقة مستفيدا من هذا التكوين في الموسم الجامعي 2025 و2026، ونحن بصدد تعزيز هذه الخطوة بمنح ناحية أخرى في مجال التكوين المهني والشرطي والجيش الدفاع وفي كل ما ترغب فيه جمهورية الصومال الشقيقة.
On his part, President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud praised Algeria's role in promoting peace, justice, and African solidarity, expressing gratitude for the unwavering support to Somalia's state-building and peace efforts. He added that Somalia will always remember Algeria's honorable stance during its most challenging times. Let's hear it out.
We have reaffirmed our support for multilateralism as a foundation for solving regional and global problems. Somalia greatly values Algeria's enduring role in promoting peace, justice, and African solidarity as well. We also appreciate Algeria's unwavering support to Somalia's state building and peace consolidation efforts. Our two nations share vision of self-reliance.
The President of Somalia, Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, visits Algeria's pharmaceutical complex Saidal in Algiers as part of his official trip that is continuing on the second day in Algiers as part of his official trip, highlighting growing bilateral cooperation in health and industrial development. Algeria and Zimbabwe reaffirmed their strong historic and strategic ties during talks in Algiers. Army Chief of Staff General Saeed Shingriha welcomed Zimbabwe's Minister of Defense and Veterans Affairs, emphasizing both countries' shared struggle for independence and their commitment to deepening cooperation in defense and security. The international accreditation body LSQA, based in Uruguay and Austria, announces it's halting all operations in Western Sahara, citing the need to comply with the standards set by the legitimate Sahrawi authorities. In Morocco, the Moroccan Front for Supporting Palestine and Opposing Normalization calls for nationwide protest on November 29th to denounce normalization with the Zionist entity. The front accuses the government of ignoring public demands to cancel dangerous agreements threatening national sovereignty and regional stability. Amid Mali's worsening political turmoil, opposition factions are calling for influential Imam Mahmoud Dicko to return from Algeria and lead the country through its escalating crisis. Widad Alawa talks more on the topic.
The notice issued by political factions opposing coup forces highlights Imam Dicko's position as the most qualified leader to guide the new transitional period grounded in moral legitimacy, wisdom, and broad-based dialogue. Dicko enjoys the widespread trust among Malians of all faiths and political affiliations. His backers note the worsening security situation, hence the calls for new leadership capable of rebuilding trust between the state and society. Tigida Diagoraga, president of the Front for Peace in Mali, explains.
La seule personne qui peut sauver le Mali, tout simplement, Mahmoud Dicko.
The only person who can save Mali is Mahmoud Dicko. If no action is taken, we will head toward chaos. Mahmoud Dicko's influence no longer needs to be proven. He was previously the only one able to negotiate with armed groups to free more than 150 soldiers. And today, he has become a figure that cannot be ignored. Personally, I have hope in this leader.
With widespread public distrust in state institutions and the military's failure to ensure stability, an ethical leader is urgently needed to guide the transitional period, restore confidence, and unite the nation.
In Sudan, the head of Transitional Sovereignty Council, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, meets with UN Assistant Secretary General for Humanitarian Affairs, Tom Fletcher, to discuss ceasefire efforts and humanitarian access as fighting intensifies in the country's west. Still in Sudan, on the same file, Doctors Without Borders warns that Sudan's humanitarian crisis has reached catastrophic levels, with record cases of acute malnutrition among those fleeing the besieged city of Al-Fasher in North Darfur, blockaded for the over 500 days. UN Women condemn systematic sexual violence committed against women in Al-Fasher, Darfur by the Rapid Support Forces, as the organization reports testimonies of hunger, displacement, and rape used as weapon of war amid the country's ongoing conflict. Still in health news, the Africa's BioVac laboratory launches Africa's first clinical trials of an entirely homegrown oral cholera vaccine, a breakthrough that could offer the continent new hope in fighting the disease. On the economic front, Tunisia signs a new $430 million financing agreement with the World Bank to support its energy sector. The deal aims to strengthen energy efficiency, governance, and sustainability of electricity services across the country. The East African community records a strong 28.4% rise in goods trade during the second quarter of 2025, reaching $38.2 billion. Exports surged by over 40%, reducing the regional trade deficit to less than $1 billion. Algeria prepares to host the first edition of Timimoun International Short Film Festival from November 13 to 18th. 62 films from 31 countries, including 23 African nations, will compete for top awards, with a screening celebrating Algeria's cinematic heritage and history. Still on the cinematic industry, the 46th Cairo International Film Festival unveils its full lineup of 150 films from around the world, running from November 12 to 21st, featuring 11 competitions and diverse programs. The festival reaffirms its status as the Arab world's only Category A film event. Concluding with the sport news, as the Algerian national football team continues training ahead of Thursday friendly against Zimbabwe in Jeddah. The match forms part of Algeria's preparations for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. And that concludes today's Harvest. Thank you for paying attention to the fullest. And meanwhile, we reach the main news in the evening. Keep enjoying our programs of the day with the Voice of Africa.